here, waiting for you with open arms. How about you coming closer? We can do my place. Maybe we can try meeting up by 7. You'll be saying over, so it's guaranteed. I'll be forever thinking about you and me. I don't wanna let you go. I don't wanna let you go.
Oh, 4 million! What? Wait, was that 4 million? What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a NUKE Ivara build. Now, for those who don't have the Kuva Bramma, Kuva Zarr, and anything explosive paired up with a Prime sure-footed, well, hey, buddy, no worries, I got a build for you. This build is utilizing Artemis Bow, getting them juicy headshots with a massive AoE explosion. Now, we're going to pair this up with a few other things to increase that damage output. Her main source of damage is, of course, going to come from Artemis Bow. This is a bow and arrow exalted weapon. So yes, it is modded separately. And on top of that, we will be in Prowl, Invisibility. And while in Prowl, we get a headshot damage multiplier. We need to deal those headshots. Why do we need to deal those headshots? Well, is because we're using the Augment Concentrated Arrow. We get increased crit chance and explosions when we hit those heads, but we lose our multiple arrows, but it is still affected by multi-shots. And unfortunately, we do lose punch through, but hey, we still have explosions. And the cool thing about Concentrated Arrow that it scales from 2 sources of range. One, your modded range on your Warframe, and Primed Firestorm. Primed Firestorm will be additive to the modded range on your Warframe. However, that's still a big increase. And here I have Roar. This is going to multiply our damage. Roar is a universal damage multiplier. It will multiply my ability damage and any direct hit and double dip with DOTs. And the massive DOT that we're going to be dealing here are bleeds. Hell yeah, but we're not using hunter munitions. And yes, I will be using my quiver, utilizing the sleep arrow, putting enemies within the area to sleep so we can have those easy headshots. But if you don't want to depend too much on sleep arrow, well, you're going to have to use your operator's dash to proc Magus lockdown. Okay, let's see this build in action real quick. So the reason I primed them real quick there is to proc growing power and activate my abilities. There you go. Put him to sleep, and look at that. Free headshots. They're scattered a bit, and look at that. Look at the explosion. We got that person over there. Everybody's affected, and that was with 1 bullet. We managed to kill everybody except this lucky individual right here. All right, they're dead now. And I wasn't even using the correct faction mod. So let's say we're up against the Grineer, and I am using the Bane of Grineer. Put them asleep. They're kind of scattered. Let's shoot this guy right here. Boom. 1 shot. Beautiful. Woo. Insane. And the weapons that we have here are all going to be utility because our main damage is coming from Artemis Bow. All right, let's take a look at the build. In the aura, I have Growing Power. This grants me 25% bonus power strength when I proc a status effect on a target, which will add up to be 133% power strength. Prime Continuity for the duration to help me with the drain and steal rate. So if you're in Prowl, your steal time is affected by duration. The more duration you have, the faster you steal. Stealing is going to help me gain energy back and life support. So when you're playing with Ivara, you're never going to have problems with life support or energy. In the Exilus, I do have Vigilante Pursuit. This is not for the enemy radar, but for the Vigilante set bonus. As you can see right here, I have rank 5 on that set bonus. So this will give me 25% chance to hit that additional crit tier. This is what it means to enhance your crits. If we're consistently hitting yellows, we will hit orange. If we're consistently hitting oranges, we'll be hitting reds. But yeah, you'll be seeing random reds and oranges here and there. Pulling guard for the 3 seconds of invulnerability and status cleansing. Prime flow for the large energy pool because we're going to be using a lot of abilities here. Sleeping enemies and using Artemis Bow. Artemis Bow is not a drain ability, but it drains energy per shot. Overextended and stretch for that 235% range. This increases my blast radius to 16.4 meters. Just damn big. And we have Prime Firestorm on top of that. Concentrated Arrow, this is what makes Artemis Bow an explosive demolitionist of doom when you hit those headshots. Umbrella Intensify and Augur Secrets to counteract the negative power strength we get from Overextended. You could use Blind Rage, but I didn't want to have negative efficiency. And that's it. Arcane Energize for the energy income. When we pick up an energy orb, we get that nice boost. Arcane Rage. When we get a headshot, we have a chance to get 180% base damage multiplier on your primary weapon. Shotguns, bows, whatever. Anything in your primary slot that gets an additional 180% base damage multiplier. This is going to be additive with any of your base damage. Before we get to Artemis Bow, let's have a look at the die queue. Don't worry, you can use this on any other primary. I just have the die queue here because, well, the bow aesthetic. And we just slot the 4 Vigilante mods, just for the Vigilante set bonus. And that's pretty much it, boys. Epitaph is that primer for that initial cast. So you proc everybody with status effect and cast your Prowl, Artemis Bow, Roar for the first time. But yeah, for a primer, you can use whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Just proc a status effect and grab yourself Growing Power buff. Activate your abilities. Vastlock is just here for Shattering Impact if you were to strip an Acolyte. That's about it. And now onto the Artemis Bow. That's right, no elements. You don't need to put any elemental mods on this build. We have Serration for our base damage multiplier, which will combine with Arcane Rage, Galvanized Chamber, yes, multi-shot is affected, Internal Bleeding for those bleed procs. Yes, the explosions have forced impact procs, so a bunch of slash takes everywhere. Crit chance, crit damage, even more crit damage with some status chance, but you know, more crit damage. Unfortunately, you cannot put bladed rounds because Acolyte mods cannot be slotted onto exalted weapons. As you can see right there, no bladed rounds. Bladed rounds would have been a better choice. Faction mod, Prime Bane of Grineer or any other faction you're up against. And then Prime Firestorm for the large AoE explosion. Now you may be wondering, why don't you have any viral on this build? Because we don't need it. Our viral is going to be coming from our Panzerwolfophyla. Vulpophyla, that's how you pronounce it. And let's take a look at the build. Very straightforward. You're just here for Viral Quills and Panzer Devolution. The rest, just work on other Warframe builds. That's it. This is going to proc your Viral, and boom, your bleeds are going to deal a lot more damage. And the bleeds are also going to be multiplied again by the faction mod and Roar, because Roar and faction mods are additive to each other. So big PP damage. So you can see this build is very, very simple. Alright folks, this is the NUKE Ivara. You're going to be dealing crazy amounts of damage. So again, no Bramma, no Zarr, no problem, dude. Big PP damage. Anyway guys, thank you so much for stopping by. If you've enjoyed and learned something from this video, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.